For most people, going to the space is nothing more than a dream. And only rich people can make this dream a reality. On April 28, 2001, Dennis Tito, a wealthy businessman, paid $20 million for a seat on a Russian rocket Soyuz to be the first tourist to visit the International Space Station. Only 7 people have visited places in last 20 years. But from 2021, era of space tourism has started, and the next 10 years, cost of space tourism for a single person will reduce from millions of dollars to just $500. But how? Before starting off, make sure you subscribe my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notification of new videos from this channel. Space tourism is human space travel for recreational purposes. There are several different types of space tourism, including orbital, suborbital, lunar space tourism, Mars tourism and beyond Mars tourism. To date, orbital space tourism has been performed only by Russian Space Agency. But on July 22 of 2021, Jeff Bezos' space company Blue Origin will fly their first customer to space on their rocket called New Shepard. Richard Branson's Virgin Galactic will also start commercial spaceflight very soon. And when Elon Musk's SpaceX will start space tourism, they will lead this industry by providing space tourism at the lowest cost. So what are the plans of SpaceX as for space tourism? SpaceX is developing a new rocket called Starship. Starship is a fully reusable launch vehicle, which requires a booster stage called Super Heavy Booster to reach the orbit of the Earth. The Starship is capable of delivering up to 200 tons of payload to Earth's orbit at the lowest cost. Elon Musk and SpaceX want to build a city at Boca Chica, Texas, which is Starbase. Elon tweeted creating the city of Starbase. There, he will build several luxury hotels and resorts for his high-paying customers for space tourism. There are 4 plans of SpaceX for space tourism. First of them is the Earth-to-Earth space tourism or orbital space tourism. Actually, SpaceX had planned Earth-to-Earth transportation via Starship, instead of using old regular airplanes. Most of the flights will take from 20 minutes to 1 hour, so people can take the view of Earth from space and experience microgravity for that period of time. Elon said the number of passengers in Starship will be around 1,000, as all seats would be couch and no toilets, pilot area or food galley are needed. Most flights would only be 15 to 20 minutes. Basically, it's an ICBM traveling on Mach 25 that lands. How much will it cost? The main cost will be of refurbishment and propellant, because Starship is reusable and can be reused for several thousand times. Elon said Starship plus Super Heavy Booster propellant mass is 4,800 tons, 78% oxygen and 22% methane, and I think we can get propellant cost down to around $100 per ton in volume, so $500,000 per flight. With high flight rate, it probably below $1.5 million fully burdened cost for 150 tons to orbit, or $10 per kg. And refurbishment cost of Starship will also be less, as a popular YouTuber, Tim Dodd, tweeted, "I just realized another major advantage to stainless steel on Starship: it could literally be repaired with a welder. Something that not nearly as easy when dealing with composites. Imagine a super banged Starship with patches and dings after decades of use." Then Elon replied to this, "Absolutely, you have touched on a very important point. The ship must be easy to repair on Moon and Mars." And Elon Musk also revealed that no Super Heavy Booster will require for most flight of Earth-to-Earth transportation. So it will cost about $100,000 for propellant, because Starship spacecraft requires 1,000 tons of propellant, and Elon is aiming for $100 per ton. And $150,000 for refurbishment cost of Starship. Because refurbishment cost of Falcon 9 is about $250,000 and Starship is easier to repair. So in total it will cost less than $500,000 for a single flight of Earth-to-Earth transportation, including SpaceX profits. So cost per seat will be less than $500. Yeah, that's amazing. Now let's move to the second plan, which is lunar space tourism. SpaceX had already planned lunar space tourism mission called Dear Moon. Financed Japanese billionaire Yusaku Maezawa. SpaceX will fly Yusaku, 8 civilians and crew members a single circumlunar trajectory around the moon. And in future SpaceX may also land humans on moon for space tourism. Elon said Starship designed for 100 people on a Mars journey. So, they will probably take more than 100 people on lunar tourism, as this is the mission of just 7 days. So this tourism plan will cost about $3 million including profits, because of refueling in orbit, cost of building passenger cabin, cost of food and space suits. Then the cost per person will be slightly more than $20,000. Third plan is Mars space tourism. Everyone knows that Elon Musk wants to build a self-sustaining city on Mars. But what's his plan for space tourism? Trip to the Mars will be the mission of 6 months. But what will the cost? Elon said very dependent on volume, but I am confident moving to Mars will one day cost less than $500,000 and maybe even below $100,000, low enough that most people in advanced economics could sell their home on Earth and move to Mars if they want. So in the long term, it will cost less than $100,000 per person. And the return ticket will be free. Wonderful. According to Elon Musk, he will also provide loans for the ticket to Mars for the people who want to work on Mars but don't have money for Mars ticket. And people have to repay their loans by working on Mars because there will be a lot of jobs on Mars. Last of the 4 plans is actually my plan, which I hope SpaceX will follow in the near future, which is space hotel or space station. SpaceX could build space station for their customers which pay them millions or even billions of dollars for space tourism. SpaceX can even build artificial gravity space stations such as the Stanford Taurus. Or they can use Starship as a space hotel because of its large volume. A space hotel which can land on different planets. Great idea. They can even expand the Starship hotel by connecting multiple starships. These are the plans for space tourism which SpaceX will follow in the future. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like the video, comment your views about the video, share this video to support my channel and subscribe for more videos. Support my channel.